Kyle Brandt's hotel room, a tradition unlike any other. You know it, you love it, and it's back. We did it in London. I think we did it in Germany. We did it in Nevada, and now Arizona. And the day after the Super Bowl, I'm going to give you everything you love, everything you hate, everything that's hilarious. And yes, I am wearing a Chiefs jacket. It is not because I'm a bandwagoner. It is because I am tipping the cap. I am paying homage. Plus, the Chiefs made it for me. It has my name on it, so it's kind of disrespectful not to wear it. Chiefs Super Bowl champs. Kyle Brandt's hotel room. Here we go. Let's ride. I love that Super Bowl game. Loved it. Had almost every single ingredient that I want in a Super Bowl game in 2023. For example, I want a fast start. Don't let us sit around and wait and get bored and look at our phones. Fast start. Eagles go right down the field and score a touchdown. Boom. Chiefs come back and score. We got that ingredient. High scoring. Listen, I was at that Tom Brady versus Jared Goff Super Bowl. It's the most boring 3 hours of my life. I want points. We got 73 points combined, 38-35 in this game. It was incredible. I love the high scoring factor of this game. What's the next ingredient in the perfect Super Bowl? I want a huge defensive play. I do want a lot of points, but I want a huge defensive play. The bizarre Jalen Hurts fumble and the Nick Bolton recovery, scoop and score, massive. Brought the house down. Love seeing a big man run that far with the football. It's kind of a long one, too. I want a big defensive play. I also want a big special teams play. Think, if you want to go way back, think Desmond Howard returning a kickoff for a touchdown against the Patriots back in the day in the mid-90s. We had the Kadarius Toney longest punt return in Super Bowl history. That's a pretty big play. There's never been a punt return for a touchdown in the Super Bowl. I learned that this morning, didn't know it. But we had a long one yesterday down the sideline. Thought he was going to house it. They finally get him in a bounce. We got that ingredient. I want the stars to show up in a Super Bowl. You have to have the stars to show up. It's a key ingredient. Mahomes, excellent. Devontae Smith, fantastic. A.J. Brown, fantastic. Kelsey, Jalen Hurts, obviously fantastic. Those are the guys you want to see play. Those are the guys you pay to see play. If you bought a ticket, if you're watching at home, fine. You just want to see the big stars show out, and they did. You know what else I want? Big hit. We can still do that sometimes. Occasionally in a Super Bowl, there's a massive hit. Think very, very early in that Russell Wilson versus Peyton Manning Seahawks-Broncos Super Bowl when, oh my gosh, Cam Chancellor hit the late Demaryius Thomas and just rocked him, and it was set the tone for the entire game. It was going to be the Seahawks defense that day, not the Broncos offense. We got it. Justin Reed hit Devontae Smith on the sideline very early in the game. It was like, oh my God, you just did that in the NFL in 2023? You did in the Super Bowl? Huge hit. Loved it. Everybody screamed and and they showed the replays in the stadium, and everybody just went nuts. I like that stuff. So we had almost everything in that Super Bowl. Also, the halftime show, I just want something that is going to get people talking and maybe a little bit mad or a little bit accusatory. I just want a little controversy. If it's just bland and the person goes out there and does their songs and no one really cares, I've seen some shows like that. I thought the Justin Timberlake halftime was pretty bland. I really did. And a lot of people didn't like the Maroon 5 one, but there was things to talk about and there was controversy. The Rihanna one is interesting. Some people didn't like it. I liked that the set was Super Smash Brothers. It was interesting that she was kind of revealing that she was pregnant. I just like people are talking. Some people loved it. Some people hated it. That's my kind of halftime show. So we have the perfect ingredients for a perfect Super Bowl, right? No. There was one thing happened that just ruined the entire recipe, and it gets to what I hate. Here we go. Along with the restaurants that you love, you can now get groceries and other essential items delivered with DoorDash. You get drinks, you get snacks, other household items in under an hour. For a limited time, our listeners can get 50% off up to a $20 value and $0 delivery fees when you download the DoorDash app and enter the code BASEMENT. That is code BASEMENT for 50% off up to $20 value, $0 delivery fees with DoorDash. Subject to change, terms apply. I hate the ending of that Super Bowl. That was terrible. I hate it for a lot of different reasons. I hate that it was going to be one of these all-time shootouts. It's 35-35 maybe. Is that how it's going to go? And the Chiefs are coming down the field and they get the defensive holding penalty. And then the last minute after that was just bizarre, sloppy, strange. The Eagles were going to try to let the Chiefs score, which they should have. The Chiefs refused to score, which they should have. And then they just took the clock down. And it was just, you knew it was going to end. You knew Harrison Butker, even though he did slip and miss one earlier, was not going to miss that one from that distance and that guy. And they kicked the field goal and it was over. Terrible ending. A little bit of No Country for Old Men. That is this amazing, riveting movie with all these great performances. And then the last couple minutes, you're like, what the hell just happened? This is terrible. Do that over, Coen brothers. I wish they could do over the ending of this game. I really do. But I will say this. I want to speak to Eagles fans for just a second here. Check yourself this morning a little bit if you need to, and this week, in this offseason. Yes, the call at the end of that game was annoying. It sucked that it affected the game the way that it did. Certainly as a fan, I wish they would not have called that call, but they did. Do not go around moaning and groaning today and this week about the referees took this one from you or the referees screwed you. That's loser stuff. Don't do that. Don't say we got beaten because of the referees. Be better than that. Because the facts are, you got beaten because in the second half of the biggest game of the year, this juggernaut of a team you have got smacked around. You did not have a single defensive stop. You gave up 24 points. You did not sack Mahomes. You gave up the biggest punt return in Super Bowl history. Do you know there's only one team ever to lose having a double-digit halftime lead in the Super Bowl? That team is the 28-3 Falcons team. Now there's two teams. It is them and it is you, and don't tell me it's because of officiating. You are a Super Bowl winning organization who have now been to multiple Super Bowls in a given time. Be better than the refs took it from us. That's loser entry-level stuff. You don't win all the Super Bowls. The Patriots didn't win them all. The Steelers don't win all the Super Bowls. These are the great historic Super Bowl organizations of which you are becoming one. Act accordingly. Don't do the loser's lament, which is calling the radio show or tweeting or posting or memeing or doing whatever the hell you want about the referees took it from you. Your defense didn't come out of the halftime locker room. That's why you are not Super Bowl champions today. It's fine. It's all right. It's football. It happens. I think you'll be back. For this time, be above that. I have too much respect for you as a city, as an organization, as a fan base, to watch you go around the streets and go around the internet whining about an officiating call at the end of the game. Be better than that. I know you are. Act accordingly. But I hate the end of that game. That sucked. Wish it could have been a shootout. Would have left Jalen Hurts get one shot to go down the field in the final minute, and they just couldn't do it. But let's get to what's hilarious. That's always fun. All right, what's hilarious is seeing the celebs who show up for the Super Bowl. I've been privileged enough to go to many Super Bowls. I'm also privileged enough through my job that I work very hard on to be able to go down on the field before the game. And so you get a field pass, which is incredibly empowering. You can just walk anywhere you want on the Super Bowl field as the players are warming up feet away from you. And no one really knows what to do. You just kind of ditz around and sort of talk and look at your phone and be like, wow, yeah, there's Jake Elliott, the Eagles kicker, just blasting them through the uprights. But there's always a random collection of celebrities there. And I do mean random. It's not the same group every year. It's always different. So I'm standing around there. Just take a guess in all the world of famous people. Who's the first person I see walk down the field? Just take a guess. Did you guess Gordon Ramsay, the famous chef? Because if you did, you're right. Not who I would have expected to be down there. I think it'd be Chris Pratt or something, or maybe one of the Chiefs guys like Paul Rudd. Gordon Ramsay. Just walking around, looking at the Super Bowl, taking selfies with people. Next person, considerable celebrity. Jay-Z just walks out. Looked pretty cool. Had long hair, did not have the Yankees hat like I always kind of picture him wearing. Jay-Z walks right by me. He sits, goes up to Michael Vick and Charles Woodson and like hugs them and they're talking to them. And then Roger Goodell joins that conversation. That's a hell of a conversation. Vick, Woodson, Jay-Z, and Roger Goodell. Witnessed that. And then I got to be in a suite, not to brag, but since I presented at honors, I got to be in this like pretty cool Super Bowl suite where you get in there and there's a seat, and there's like a little kitchen, and it's fun. The two celebrities that I find in the Super Bowl suite that I get a ticket to. First one, Kelly Clarkson, which I was thrilled about. Had a great talk with her. Love her. She's the nicest person ever. She obviously hosted NFL Honors, so she was there and she was with some friends and she was like way into the game. And I found it fascinating at halftime when Rihanna's performing to watch Kelly Clarkson watch her, like to watch a pop star watch a pop star. And she was way into it. And she's singing every word, and she's dancing, and she's just loving it and just vibing. And it was very cool. So Kelly Clarkson, guess who the other person was? Stephen A. Smith. So I'm standing there talking to Stephen A. Smith and Kelly Clarkson, just like what a group. And it makes me think of The Basement, how many times Stephen A. Smith has been on Takes on Takes. And also coming off a glorious 10, the first ever 10 in the history of Takes on Takes. And there I am, sitting with him in a Super Bowl suite, and he's having a snack, and I'm just drinking everything not nailed down. It was awesome. Very nice. Talked to him about his book. I love Stephen A. Gave him a hug. And man, at some point he may have to come into The Basement. Who knows? But he was in the suite last night, Kyle Brandt's suite. It's bizarre Super Bowl atmosphere, just seeing that many famous people, and meanwhile the game's going on and the jets are flying overhead. It's pretty cool. I wish you guys could all been there with me. But that's it. That's what I hate. And I'm going to wrap up the show with that. I also, one note, I have been in touch with Josh Allen. Josh texted me a few days ago, and we went back and forth just talking about other stuff. And he said, I missed the pod. I want to come on. So Josh, you know where to find us. The door's always open. I'm sure we'd all love to hear your thoughts on the Super Bowl, or Rihanna for that matter. That's it. That's Kyle Brandt, hotel room from Arizona. I'm flying back to New York. We will see you back in the basement tomorrow. Thank you guys. Love you. See yourself out. Go through the hallway. I'm on the 11th floor, and just the lobby's pretty good breakfast here. So it's early right now. I'm going to go get some. Take it easy.